Hey, vinyl community, we're getting into styling today. Gimme 10 hats, started by Chris, blues vinyl guy. And this is right up my alley. And, you know, I woke up watching his video. That was the first thing I saw when I turned on my iPad this morning and saw that pop up. And I don't know if I dreamed this. I thought I did one. At first I thought, oh, this is right up my alley. Then I thought I did a hat video. So maybe some of you have been watching me a while. I didn't bother looking through my archive. But I think I remember doing something on hats because the first album I pulled here just gave me that sense memory shock of remembering. This is a hat brush, by the way, and I'm in actually what is my hat room. It's not just hats, but I call it my hat room because, as you can see, there are a lot of hats behind me. I'm sporting a pork pie hat now that is very popular with the beat jazz people, especially Lester Young. There's a song written when he passed away by Thelonious Monk, and with lyrics by, is it Ross and Roland Kirk? I'm forgetting who wrote a lyric version of it. Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. This is a pork pie. This is very similar to this one. And you do use a hat brush like this, which is curved. Might as well give you a little bit of the insight of how to take care of your hats. I don't keep them on mannequins. I'm not going to have a million mannequins. But anyway, there you go. So I might show some of my hats in between some of the records I show. So give me 10 records with hats on the cover. This is the one that reminded me, thinking, I think I did this before. Devo, Are We Not Men? We Are Devo, Warner Brothers Records, the great debut. I had gotten, it was 1979, I'd gotten their independent singles when this came out. Saw them at the Mabuhay Garden. Of course, you could show a handful of Dylan records, but I'm showing Desire. I don't have a hat like this. This is not similar because the brim is different. This is a Gorin Brothers hat. Gorin Brothers is a hat manufacturer out of San Francisco. I know Chris has several Gorin Brothers hats, but they have sort of a bunch of stores around the country, and they make nice hats and good quality hats, what I consider reasonably priced. I even have a punch card when I get 10 hats. It's like getting a cappuccino, getting your coffee. I'm at 9. I actually have 9 punches, so after one more hat, I get a free hat. But this is more of a Stetson style. In fact, this is a Stetson, I believe. Oh no, this is a Celentino. I don't know what Celentino is, but it's the same kind of style hat. So I'll showcase that. It's not the same as this, obviously. It has a beautiful feather, Bob Dylan's Desire. Another pork pie in gray. And these are Senators. These are Biltmore Senators. Okay, one of my favorite photographs of a hat on an album cover is a John Hyatt record that came out about 6 years ago, and it's Terms of My Surrender, John Hyatt. Love this photograph, right? This is totally up my alley. Beautiful photograph. And of course I should have researched who took the picture, because that's what matters when it comes to these great photographs of hats. But John Hyatt, I plan on doing a feature. I've been wanting to do a feature on John Hyatt for about 6 months now. So eventually that'll happen. Of course, can't get away with not showing a Raikuda record. I've been showing this record a lot lately. Paradise and Lunch. I don't have a hat like this. Although we can start getting into summertime records, spring and summertime, which I should get rid of the dark records. You know, it's like you don't wear your white suit after Labor Day. What the heck? It's fucking Seattle. But now we're getting to summertime, springtime. We can't go outside, but we can lighten things up a little bit, color-wise. Great album. I don't see her get a lot of love here around the VC. But I love Katie Lang. Shadowland I love, but this record is called Absolute Torch and Twang. great country singer, ingenue little Patty Klein type. You know Katie Lang. If you don't, you should. Beautiful record, beautiful hat. You know, I don't really have any large cowboy style hats at all, but I mean a couple of wide brim hats. It's a wider brim. It's great for the hot ranch style skies and the big plains skies. So Katie Lang. You know, another great hat guy, Jimi Hendrix, Seattle born. Look at those hats. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I know there used to be a woman named Marcia Akins that made hats in New York, and I originally bought a couple of her hats at a store that doesn't exist anymore in the Mission District in San Francisco in the 2000s. And Marcia Akins had a company called Makin's Hats, and this was the first leather hat I got. In fact, the archivist gave me a gift certificate 15 years ago on my birthday. Her and someone else that worked at this place I used to frequent went in and gave me a gift certificate. Of course, I had Amanda come with me to pick out a hat. This is my first leather. This is a leather handmade Makins out of New York. I don't wear it a lot now. It's very well worn, like a glove. But I do have several. When the hat store was going out of business, I picked up these Makins. They were pricey, but they were selling like 60% off. So I used to wear this all the time. Red used to be the hat I wore more than any other hat for a while, for a number of years. It's a little worn now, but we called the hat Red. It's got a nickname. See, when you're close to your hats, you give them nicknames. And of course, someone who wears hats a lot when he plays, but that's Beck. The Great Moody album, Grammy Award winning for Best Album of the Year, Morning Phase, gorgeous hat, gorgeous record. As I said before, Lester Young, the king of the pork pie illustration, but beautiful, beautiful hat. He wore pork pie hats almost exclusively. And again, I showed you those pork pie. Lester Young, great saxophone player. Another hat guy, jazz artist, wore hats all the time, pretty much, and that's the great Felonious Monk. If I can get this open. Sometimes you just got to rip the plastic. This is a promo copy. This is Night in San Francisco, live recordings from New York and San Francisco. A twofer that Fantasy was putting out, Milestone Fantasy, in the 1976. Promo copy, Felonious Monk. Another great hat wearer. Now these hats I got, there was a hat maker in San Francisco that pulled different fabrics and had them made in Italy. They're called Borsalinos, Gruppo Borsalino, and I love this style. I had two hats like this. One was a gray and one was a deeper color, and it's only 3 hats in my life I've ever lost. Left one on a plane, left one at a front desk at an airport, and then one other one which I have no idea. And because I don't usually leave hats in places, I walk out of a building, and if I don't have a hat, I feel naked, so I don't lose it. So if I go right back in, if for some reason I forgot it. And the etiquette is, when I'm sitting at a bar, I can leave my hat on. When you're sitting at a table in a restaurant, you take your hat off. And theoretically, you're not supposed to, it's bad luck to leave your hat on a bed. So I'll just let you know that right there. But beautiful Borsalino. Look at this fabric, Just love these. This is one of my favorite cuts of a hat, too. It's a little bit, it's not a fedora, really, because a fedora, you could do pork pies, where when they're up, they're pork pies. When they're down, they're fedoras. But that's a whole other thing. In fact, if you want to know more about it, great book, Chronicle Books, Men's Hats. Italian hats, handmade hats. And I'm going to end up with a hat. This is the only hat that is ever custom made for me. There was a woman that used to go by the name of House of Nines Design. She worked out of her house in San Francisco. 10 years ago, she moved to New York, and then she moved to Paris, and I don't know where she is now. The only hat she actually custom made. We picked the fabrics, the shape, the design, and I love this hat. So it's in between a pork pie and a fedora, small style. I love this hat. This is my dress-up hat. Narrower brim, and since I'm wearing this, I'll end up with a record that I won that Chris actually sent me. Vinyl blues guy Chris of the Great Moody guy, his favorite blues artist, I understand. Look at this. These photographs are great. This is a wonderful record. This is a 3-4 years old, and look at those hats. So thanks, Chris, for starting this or reigniting it, or you started it. I think I just dreamt it. But anyway, love hats, and those are 10 Gimme 10 album covers with hats. Didn't expect to do one today, but Mazzy loves you, and hats are good, especially for us bald dudes. Take care.